What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's here. As I stated in my previous video that I ordered the Deatschwerks X2 system. Well, they made it, they shipped it, and man, that was quick. So I was kind of right about, them being so close. I think they're in Oklahoma. In today's video, I'm just going to do an unboxing and explain. There's a lot of people that come in for the first time, a lot. So I know a lot of my information is redundant, or, I circle and beat a dead horse on a lot of topics, but that's why I do it. Also, I'm going to break this down, give an explanation of why I'm doing what I'm doing, and it might help a lot of people. So if this information is helpful to you, awesome. That's what I'm going for. If it's not and you find it irritating, well, don't be a And I noticed in my last video, I kind of gave you, the deadhead and the return style system as far as like fuel pumps goes, but I didn't break it down as far as like explaining why or how each system works and what it's good for in an application. So there is a deadhead to where there is just one feed line to the engine, feeding the engine of fuel. There is no return system. And this is really good. It's a simple method of doing things. Now the return system, the pump just runs at 100% duty cycle, and it just, feeds the engine, and then what returns, and what the engine consumes, it consumes. And the problem you come into with the deadhead system is you have to figure out a way to modulate or regulate the motor, because you can't just have it running at 100% duty cycle and building pressure up. You'll eventually burn something out. If you can find a tuner, or you can find a kit that will actually be able to regulate the voltage, slow the pump down, speed it up. If you can find a variable system to regulate the pump and go that route, it is the simplest. And I'm gonna say, really don't know of any limitations it has as far as like horsepower compatibility, but I know that this is like really popular with like anywhere from 400 to 600, 650 horsepower crank applications in the hot rod community. So probably a reason for it. I don't know why, but do your own investigation. I did talk to my tuner over at Paragon Performance, talked to Graham. He did recommend a return system, and I did call Deatschwerks. Shout out to Levi. Levi was the one that gave me all the information to begin with, and then Trevor. Shout out to Trevor. Thanks, guys. He was the one that hooked me up with all the stuff. Return style system is actually just like I said. It's in probably 95 or more percent of the cars on the road today. Very simple. It does waste a little bit of energy pushing the fuel back to the tank, so I think that there is some left on the table that a deadhead could pick up and utilize without having to do any other modifications. But the return style is kind of proven. So I called Deatschwerks, gave them the rundown, gave them all the pretty much everything that I'm doing, my target end goal, and it came down to the X2 system for the SSZL1 or the Cadillac CT SV3. And I know there's a lot of people out there that don't even know like the anatomy of a fuel pump, so I kind of figured that was a good place to start. And I will add to the stream just a picture of a fuel pump. This top part where the pipes are coming in at the top, that is referred to as the hat. Now this is super simple. So basically these rods or poles that connect the plastic piece to the bottom, those are typically called the stem. Sometimes the fuel pump assembly will only have one stem. Obviously down in the bottom, that black piece is the pump. That part sticking out, that's actually the fuel gauge. But if you can see, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but where that blue and black wire run down into, that's actually the part that runs the fuel gauge that tells you how much fuel you have. That's the sender unit. You got that black hose that feeds, well, it should feed. This diagram's really not 100%, but should feed to the fuel outlet, which you can read at the top. You want to keep this because this big black plastic bowl or assembly, whatever you want to call it, that's referred to as the basket. Now the basket, if you can utilize this as far as sticking with the OE system, and I'll just say this, you want to keep that, because that basket is filled up and that fuel pump is, and I'll add it here in just a second, it's submerged in fuel. Depending on how fast your pump can actually drain that basket is going to be like a make or break type deal. You want to make sure that that basket stays full. We'll go back to the picture here. But this basket, there's actually holes somewhere in the bottom here, and it, once the pump is submerged, it actually allows that pump to either spill over in the top, or it has holes, orifices that allow the fuel to come in through the bottom. Now, when you take a corner and all that fuel inside the tank sloshes to one side, that basket is still full. So once you correct or come back out of the corner and steer straight, the basket can fill back up again. And it's kind of used as like this reservoir, so your pump never is starved of fuel. You don't want that to happen, because any air bubbles or anything that run up like through that black pump, and I'm just using this pump as a way to stay consistent with you guys, that's called cavitation. That can kill your pump, and also, you know, cause stall issues. It can cause all kind of problems. This is exactly why I wanted to stay with the OE system as long as I can. That and the computer system, as far as tuning goes, I don't want to overcomplicate it, and this is why I didn't go with the 4 system. The basket staying full with this new pump, you'll see here just a little bit, I'll be able to utilize that old system. I'll be able to keep that basket and keep both of those pumps submerged. Now, if you're wondering in your head, like, would you open up those orifices or make them bigger? I wouldn't do it, because just as fast as the fuel gets in, it will get out. And if it sloshes in fast, it'll slosh out fast, kind of defeating the purpose. You don't want that. If I had to take a guess as far as like improving on that or upgrading that, I would say you need the volume of your basket to be bigger. Now, also, I will say that in the top of the hat, you will have your outlet for your fuel, and you'll have your inlet, and you'll also have your evap. Now, evap, and I did pull this up for you guys. evap emissions control, where it's highlighted right down here, evap emissions control. It's used to prevent gasoline vapors from escaping into the atmosphere from the fuel tank. And for those of you that don't know, there is such thing as a summer gas blend and a winter gas blend to control how fast that gas inside your tank does evaporate. So you need to kind of keep this into consideration as far as, you know, if you're going to be trying to modify this thing or alter it or whatever. Stop, call your fuel system company who designed it, and, you know, kind of tell them what's going on, and they'll help you through it. Kind of nice because this Deatschwerks system, it's plug and play. Everything's engineered, all the R&D is done. So if you have a 6th generation Camaro, I would seriously consider this, because like I said before, it does go up to 1300 wheel. And as far as like the 4 innovations, I decided to not go that route because, one, I just don't have the faith in the pumps. I didn't have a faith in the system. That basket, you don't have that basket. So as far as I know, the tanks just dangle, or the pumps just dangle in the tank. And basically, if you don't drive around with a full tank all the time, you don't know when you're going to be starving the engine of fuel. So I suppose you could run a surge tank. I'm just going to try to avoid that at all costs. I'm going to try to avoid that. If I got to run a surge tank, I got to run a surge tank. But this is every bit of it, every bit of the quality and more, I believe. And this is the video that I'll bring this into the stream. This is a video, I'll kind of jump around, and I'm going to leave a link to this video of why this convinced me. And I'll break down here in just a little bit. But
hello, Chris from Deatschwerks. Today we're going to flow test a couple of fuel pumps, the Deatschwerks 400 and the Walboro 525. There's been a little bit of confusion as to how these two pumps can be compared, and what it really boils down to is the pressure at which the pumps are flowed in order to choose their moniker. Walboro chooses to use 0 psi, whereas we choose to use 40 psi. And the reason we chose 40 psi is because that is the SAE standard for flow testing fuel pumps, but also it's realistically the minimum pressure at which a EFI fuel system is going to see during standard operation. Another thing to consider as well is you have a high performance engine with boost, and you're going to have high load with high boost, and that's going to equate to a higher total system pressure. So 80, 100 PSI, that's where you want your fuel pump to perform the best. So I'm going to go ahead and...
Okay, so that pretty much explained it. I got to stop at 1 for copyright, and 2, I don't know, because I mean, everything's run off Wi-Fi. I think it would have to go through, I counted, I think it was like 2, maybe 3 walls I would have to run a wire through in order to have like a solid connection. So forgive me, work with me here. I typically find out after I'm editing, oh, that thing was, you know, buffering or skipping. So the 100 PSI, 80 to 100 PSI, that's probably where I'm going to be at, especially in the future, the farther and farther we go with this car. So this was the part that really clicked over. If you're running NA or you're running like sub 750 horsepower crank, I really wouldn't worry about it. But still, this is like over $1,000 cheaper. So cheaper, I should say it cost $1,000, over $1,000 less, because I believe that the quality is better in the Deatschwerks. So just hang with me. We'll keep going here. Okay, so I'm going to jump to the parts where I need to, and I'm going to leave a link below, and you guys can watch this on your own, but it is a good video, and it's really short. It's like less than 7 minutes. So this is the 525. He's cranking it up to 100. So that's the flow rate of liters per hour.
3 and looks like 295. Okay, back down to 40.
And you'll be able to see that this actually did flow 500 and some at 0 PSI, like it claims. But I'm going to get to it here in just a little bit, is when the unboxing, when we click out of StreamYard here. But I just think under stress, there's a reason that these pumps made by Bosch work a little bit better. So let's jump over here, 540. So this is the DW400 hooked up. They already went through the lower PSI ratings and everything, but it was very, very comparable right up into the point to where you crank the PSI up. So once he goes up to 100 here, the Walboro 525 was at 295.
22 amps and 300.
So it still outflows it. And this is under like wide open, full throttle.
And what we're seeing there is that the Walboro does flow a little bit more down low, but the DW400 catches up and passes it around about 90 PSI, which if you're a high boost application, you're very likely to be in that range or higher. And that's where you need your flow, is to be up higher.
All right, I'll stop it there. And I'll tell you, I agree with him 100%. So when you're up high, and that's where you're going to need that workload to be, yeah, that's where I'm going to be, is at high boost. And even if you go on 4 Innovations, they have you pick your pumps. And I don't know if they stage it or whatever, because I couldn't get anybody on the phone. So I don't know if they stage it, but it doesn't let you just pick 3 525 pumps. Like, you have to, it comes in stages, and the way the pump system's set up, that's kind of, I was thinking we're going to get pretty much like the same rating, because these 2 pumps will outflow those 2 pumps, and whatever the third pump is, it kicks in at whatever PSI or boost rating or however that system's set up. Your gain for that $1,200, $1,300 extra is like minimal. So this is the route I want to go. Also, I'll break it down even further here in just a second. Well, actually, let's just go ahead. Let's get into it. So pretty much the pump that I chose, and I will click on this here, and I will show you on Deatschwerks website, the X2 kit. Now, I did buy the kit all by itself, and there's a reason I did that. I believe it's called Fergola. Fergola makes a decent fuel line, but from what I'm reading, PTFE hose is PTFE hose. It's just you don't want it to carry a continuity charge or whatever, a static charge. in the casing. So I'm going with a nylon coated hose, and that nylon coating is going over what you can see here, the stainless coating hose. I bought this entire kit right here. This is probably a better way to do it. So yes, and I'll give you a breakdown. We'll do an unboxing here in a minute, but I did not buy the return kit because I priced out this filter. I think the filter was like $100, and then the pressure regulator was like 160, 170 bucks, 270 bucks. And you know, they're gonna charge you $750. Now I understand this hose, it's 8 AN for a feed, so it's a bigger feed, and 6 AN on the return. And I understand the way I'm understanding this is it's pre-cut for you, and you have all the fittings that you're gonna need. But these fittings aren't that much money. So what I chose to do is I pieced it out. I bought the filter and I bought the regulator unit. I did not get the pressure gauge. I actually thought I was gonna get it, but turns out I guess you gotta ask for it. So, but that's cool because I might be able to still go back and buy like a digital gauge, or if I do, I'm gonna buy a gauge with fluid, where it has hydraulic fluid inside, so that way the needle can't sit there and bounce. You get a more accurate reading. So I'm cool with what we got. So 270 bucks. So basically they're charging you like 500, probably 450 bucks for just fittings and hose. I can definitely build it myself, save some money. So I got everything. So pretty much I got a $1,749 kit for 13. I'll put it up here, but it was like 13 something shipped with tax and shipping. So let's get into the unboxing. I'll show you everything you get for the $1,400. I'll explain why I chose the way that I did, what I like, what I don't like, and we'll wrap this thing up. It amazes me how much better the quality this is rather than StreamYard. I'm gonna get a top-down camera started. We'll get everything going here. So I'm gonna start with this. I will say that this is a pretty big box, so I will let you see here. The top-down camera, I can't monitor at the same time, so if it catches something, good. If not, then I will try to stick it in your face right here. So, the Deatschwerks X2, this pump, gonna get that baggie, and that little tiny baggie is actually, I'm actually kind of confused as to what that is. So here we go. I'm gonna say this, readjust there. I did cut the foam. So what we will do here is I will take this off of the stem and I'll let you see. I would imagine that this aluminum would be just fine banging around a little bit, but the hat, everything is super quality. You'll be able to see that everything is, man, I'm telling you, I don't know if you can see the machining marks and that the bottom of that bracket there, but yes, this is a part that's going to fit down into that OE basket. You got a spot for both of the pumps. What this is, I don't know. I'm gonna be learning. So I have yet to follow, or actually like log on and download the PDF for the instructions as far as like install, but that's all, it's all good, man, because I'm gonna be learning a few things as we go. So you'll be able to see or not see. It does give you all the you know, as far as like your return, where your return's gonna come in, the vent, it's gonna vent all those gases from your tank. So yeah, everything's marked. The only part that I don't like and I'm not sure of is, you know, this, I'll give you this right here, as to where, looks like I'll have to cut that hard shell off. So I don't know how I feel about that. I'll just have to coil those around and tighten down that jam nut. I would think everything would be fine. Maybe I'll find some kind of corrosion protection or whatever. This is the one thing I'm perplexed as far as like what you get in the kit, but you know, maybe it's a cinder, part of the cinder, I don't know. But when I download the PDF, it'll be cool. Hey, look at that already. Inbox 10. there you go. 10% off your order. You're welcome. So this pretty much has all the feed hoses, the socks. Actually, the sock is the part that sits on the bottom of the pump. It does all the filtering. Hopefully you don't have anything floating around in your tank, but yes. This has all your wiring, everything that plugs into the pump, the rings that go around these feed hoses. Now, this is the one part that I did pay extra for, is this, it says dual pump, fuel pump wiring hardware kit. This is supposed to make it super, super simple. Now, what you do want to do is you do want to separate those pumps from that factory line on the harness system. You want a dedicated, just as clean, no voltage drop, straight from the battery. This is the only part that I wasn't anticipating, and I'm kind of like on the fence about, but I'm going to try to find the cleanest way to install. So this is like 120 bucks or something, worth every penny. I'm going to tell you right now. They have, you get a couple relays in there, and there's a QR code you can just scan with your phone, tells you how to put the thing in. The sheathing is very, very high quality. The hard shell connectors, looks like the bag's tore off. I'll just show you one right there. I mean, everything, it's marked, it's cut, it's already crimped, everything's done. All you have to do is just put part A to part B, done. Oh my God, this is probably saving you, who knows, man? I mean, hours of time. So that's very, very plug and play. And it's going to allow a very, very dedicated system to those fuel pumps, and they come highly recommended. So this is the stars of the show. And I will tell you, dang, man, these pumps are just, dude, you can feel the heft, the weight. But these pumps are just the DW 400s. So these are 415 liters at 40 PSI. That's working. Now you can go back and watch the video, and I don't know what they do at 0 PSI. But I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, that's not even accurate to even think that way. So 415 liters per hour at 40 PSI. Now I know that Deatschwerks does work with Bosch in conjunction as far as developing and manufacturing these pumps. I'll cut one open here, because I'm gonna show you something here. Now, if you know what you're looking at, great. If you don't, well, I'll help you through here. But this pump right here, look at the size. Now, I don't even know if that top-down camera's picking it up, so I'm gonna put it right here. Look at the size of that intake. Holy crap. And as far, I know the lighting's not right for you guys, but you can actually see the veins of the impeller on these motors. And supposedly these electric motors are supposed to produce 28% or 18, it's something ridiculous, more torque than the Walboro 525. So the Hellcat pumps, these outperform them too. So I'm thinking that this is probably actually the leader of the market. It's just this kit's got 2 as opposed to 3. Now if you had 3, oh my God, yeah, there would be 0 question. And especially on E85, I need the flow rate. So it's hands down, there's no question about it. So that's the X2 kit by itself, along with the hard wiring kit. Here's the part on the return kit that I kind of was just like, screw it, I'm gonna cherry pick. I'm sorry, man, but I have a hard time paying for like 500 bucks for like $150 worth of stuff. So I did opt to, here, I'll just start with the filter. The filter, now this does go down to 10 micron, and I will tell you right now that this filter does have a hard body. Comes with a little bit of, looks like silicone grease, or just says synthetic grease with PTFE. Okay, okay, I gotcha. So this is the housing. And the reason that I did was okay paying $100 for this filter was, one, it goes down to 10 micron, and two, the element in it is actually stainless steel. So yeah, here, let's open this up. Down to, you can see, down to 10 micron. Like I said, I can't tell. So what I will do is I will just give you, and you'll be able to see, that is a stainless steel filter, so you can wash it out. It's reusable. And this part specifically is warranted for 3 years. No unlimited mileage. So 99 bucks. You know, the Wix filters, they're not always accurate as far as like build quality. I've never really had any big problems, but when you're climbing horsepower mountain like this, it doesn't take much to, you know, mess things up. So okay, there you go. 8AN fittings. Keep getting mixed up. So it does give you the end fittings. Yeah, it's pretty much a plug and play deal. So high quality, 99 bucks. I would imagine, you know, the disposable filters from like any auto parts store, Napa, O'Reilly's, AutoZone, you know, whatever. I would imagine those would probably be running you 15-20 bucks a piece. Who knows how many times or how many of those filters this is the equivalent to. And this is recommended by Deatschwerks. So 0 complaints. I'll pay the $100, no problem. Finally, last but least, and this is a big part. This is I understand that, you know, pretty much would I have the same results if I went with another fuel pressure regulator, but you know, yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to really mess with their design or whatever. So I'm gonna do, you know, I'm gonna go with what they recommend, and obviously they put a lot of R&D time into getting, you know, their system set up the way they want it and dialed in accurately. So I just went ahead and spent the 160 bucks for the Deatschwerks fuel pressure regulator. Like I said, I don't know where, I believe the pressure regulator goes up on top here, but gives you all the stuff to mount it, bracket, screws, all that stuff. Really straightforward, simple setup, and I believe that this kit will last the life of the rest of the kit. So I've contacted some other people, got a few other things. I will be installing this myself. You guys voted on it. I just felt it was necessary to do a breakdown as to why I did the things the way I did and what I chose the way I chose. Hopefully this enlightens some people. If you're building a 6th generation Camaro, a lot of this applies to the SS as well. Naturally aspirated, LT4, whatever, you know, you got going on or whatever your build is. Questions, drop them below. I'll do my best to help you out. This kit is going to complement the 2-high PSI amazingly. So 2-high PSI, I've got about $3,100 in. This kit, I've got about $1,400 in. You'll see there's probably about $300 in odds and ends. So yeah, you'd be talking about $5,000 altogether for this setup. Still outperforms the rest of them. And one tuner, this is the least invasive way to do it on the car, and I'm still gonna get, you know, 1350 wheel horsepower out of the deal. So it's a win-win-win. As far as I'm concerned, this is the way to do it. If you guys have any questions, drop them below, like I said. Other than that, I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Like the video, please. Subscribe on your way out, and we'll catch you on the next one. Until then, see you guys.